Lately, I've been feeling completely overwhelmed, like I'm drowning in to-do lists and clutter and just too much. And when I try and tackle it, I find that my first solution is organizing it. Like putting it in a box with a bow on top and pushing it to the side will help. And then it ultimately doesn't. And I'm just back where I started. If you're also feeling this way, like you're overwhelmed by the chaos and nothing's working for you, I want to tell you that it's not you. It's just the fact that you're not starting in the right spot to actually tackle the issue. So, today we're going to talk about the 3 steps to take to actually liberate yourself from the clutter that's in your mind. But first, let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm Emily. I'm a therapist in private practice and a slow living enthusiast. And we're going to jump in right away. We're not wasting any more of your time. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the problem and why simply organizing the excess information in your head is not working. So, I find that often when we feel overwhelmed with things, thoughts, and ideas and just all that mental clutter and to-do lists, we try and organize it. So we try and make various notes. We might have post-it notes. We might have journals and tabs open and screenshots and saves and like you name it, okay? And I'm a queen at this. Like this, I write a lot of stuff. I'm going to show you. Like these are my little journals that I keep around the house in different areas. There's 4 of them. And then I have my bigger like journals that I keep around. And it's like if I think that brain dumping it, right? Getting it out of my brain, it helps in the immediate, but then I'm just left with tons of notebooks all over the house with all that's in my brain. And then that in itself, it's like physical clutter, right? It's visual clutter to me, and that just really keeps my mind cluttered because that physical clutter also impacts me. So, just keeping them in little places and organizing them in little piles, you're going to have tons of piles, and that's not helpful. Or tons of different to-do lists. I used to keep so many to-do lists, one for home, one for business, one for like when I was in master's degree, like whatever. Uh, Not helpful. And that's why if you're trying to do that, you're going to feel really, really overwhelmed. So here's what to do instead. And it's I think the same thing that you would do if you were decluttering a physical space like your closet is just that we're decluttering your mental world and all the thoughts and information that you have in there. Because if you're anything like me, maybe you like to learn different things. Maybe you have tons of hobbies, you have tons of ideas, and they kind of just end up everywhere. So delete. And I want you to be ruthless. So, yes, go and find all those little journals you keep around. Go and find all your hidey holes, right, of where you're keeping stuff. So for me, I told you I have my journals that I keep all around the house. And then I also have pieces of paper that I'll have like laying about with little notes here and there. And but then I'll also have like I said, things like screenshots or things on my computer or again like to-do lists. I have all these things. You're going to want to find all these places where you hide and store your stuff like a squirrel, okay? Find all those hiding places that you try and escape from. So find them all, get to all of them, and start deleting ruthlessly. And when I say ruthlessly, I mean like delete it. If it's not serving you and it won't serve you anytime in the immediate future, why do you need it? Why are you holding on to it? And on your when I say delete, it could be like physically like I delete apps from my phone that don't serve me. I delete screenshots, I'll close tabs. So like when it's a digital world, deleting makes a lot of sense. And when it's yeah, digital world makes a lot of sense, but when it's a physical world, I'll actually like delete it physically. So I think it's gonna hurt a lot of people. If you like notebooks, you might want to look away right now. So I will literally like cut out pages. I don't know if that can show you at all, but I will literally cut the pages out because it's not enough for me to simply X out the stuff because if it's there, even if it's X'd out, it's still mental clutter to me. So I actually have to physically cut the pages out. That is excessive. You don't need to do that, but um, that is what works for me. So you might do that. And you don't need to keep all these things. So delete as much as possible, find all your places, and amalgamate the things that are maybes or that you don't want to let go of. Like put them all together in a small pile and please make it a small pile. If it's not a small pile, go back to step one and delete more things. Be more ruthless. Get a friend to help. My brother is ruthless. So if I need help, he's the one I call. So all your brain dumps and everything, you're gonna delete them. You don't need them. And it takes up a lot of time to do this kind of stuff, but it's so important to do because the mental capacity of holding all this information is exhausting and it actually takes up more of your time than you might imagine. And if you're really wanting to free up your time, start with this and also join my 3-day time liberation challenge that's going from February 24th to February 26th, $33. And we're going to have like lessons on your time drains, boundaries to set, and as well as Q&As, live Q&As with me and it's in a group, so it's gonna be like really fun and really engaging, and I'm so looking forward to it. I'll put the sign up in the description, but I want to see you there. I think it'll be really awesome to liberate some of your time. 5+ hours a week. Do you want to have 5+ hours a week from your, back in your pocket? I think so. I think so. Let's move on. Next stage. So now that you've deleted everything, you've been very ruthless. The next stage you're gonna do, like I said, is you're gonna compile it all into a little spot. And so I've been doing this for myself because I've been feeling overwhelmed and I don't lie in these videos. I am like doing it for myself. This is like my little pile that I have to go through and it's full of little notes. And when I delete stuff, sometimes there's like a little note in there that I want to save. So I'll just write it on a little piece of paper. But these are all the things that I have to deal with. And what you do once you have that little pile of things that are important slash kind of maybe important, you're gonna simplify it. And what why that's so important is having all of that pile, even though it's small, still feels very overwhelming to me and still feels like I don't know what information is in there. Like I don't know how it's useful for me. I don't know how it's serving me. So I need to go through it and I need to really use my brain to see how they're related, how they're going to serve me, and how I can condense them. Because some things I might have written multiple times on different pieces of paper, or I might put two things together. It's like two ideas. And an example of this, which would make maybe a bit of sense, would be YouTube. I use YouTube as an example because it's very easy to comprehend, I think, in our modern world. So I'm learning this whole YouTube thing. I don't know what I'm doing. And so I'll have notes of different things that I've learned about YouTube, like, ooh, okay, talking heads should be like this, podcast should be like this. What is my approach? Here's what I like, here's what I don't like, blah, blah, blah. And it's all over here. And I need to sift through it to see, okay, from all that, what's feeling natural to me? And what feels authentic to my brand. And so I'm going to take all that information and see how to condense it and amalgamate it together so that it makes sense and that I have a plan moving forward. And so for me, it's like I like talking heads like this, structured. So I'm teaching you something, but also laid back, like you're seeing right now. This is not super profesh, but it's me and it just feels more comfortable. And when it's too script, I can't do it. I can't do it. So you're going to bring it all together. We're condensing it, we're thinking, we're gaining clarity. And when you do that, you also want to think like immediate. How is this serving you in the immediate? And what's the best way for you to comprehend it at a glance? Because that will bring us into step 3, which is the final step, which is organize. We're finally to organize. We usually start at organizing and making those cute little boxes with the bows. But now we're actually going to organize it. And it's going to be way better for you because before, when you had all those stacked boxes, it feels freaking cluttered in your brain. I was thinking about that the other day when I was driving home. I was like, I almost feel like There's like a little me in my head who's surrounded by boxes and giant filing cabinets who feels like trapped. And I need to remove some of those filing cabinets. So that's why we don't start there, because we can just feel like we're drowning in paperwork, drowning in information. And even if it's in our mental world, we feel it viscerally. We feel it as if it's truly happening to us. That's why you can sometimes feel like you're drowning. So that's why sometimes you want to feel like you just want to give up. Someone's like, "Oh, you're doing fine. You have a house, you have water, you have food." It's like, "Yeah, but I feel my brain feels like it's drowning." So that's why we don't start with organizing, but we do it now in this step 3. So step 3 with organizing is, once you've condensed that information, I like to organize it into different areas of my life. So maybe it's family life, and then one will be personal life, and then another one will be one of my businesses, and then another one of my businesses. So, for instance, for this business right here, it's like my YouTube channel, and then the next steps that I have coming in terms of offers. For my therapy practice, I'm going to be doing some further training in ADHD to support my clientele better. And then for life and family, it might be meal plans that I have coming up, what I want to do to like support us in nutrition. And then personal, it might be things like time spent with friends, and I have personal endeavors coming too that I'm really excited about. So organize it according to your life or whatever feels best to you. Maybe you have school and you have work, or you have personal life and you have work, or I don't know. Whatever feels right to you in that moment. Or like, one of my mentorship clients is a stay-at-home mom, and so we really try and create. There's family time. There's also me time, and me time is extremely important. We want to make time for habits and self-care, but then we also want to make time for family. We also want to take time for friends. So that she'll organize it differently than I'll organize it, and that's super cool. Because, hey, guess what? Life isn't a one size fits all. You got to find what works for you. So, anyway, organize it. How I like to organize it, and let me tell you how I used to organize it, which is like the worst way possible, which is probably the way that other YouTubers might tell you to do this. Um, so, the way I would have organized it in the past was I would create like a Notion template with all my different steps, or a PowerPoint presentation, you know? And then what do you do with that? Like, you make it all beautiful, you spend all this time making it, and then do you look at it again? Like, I created a PowerPoint for my businesses to keep track of what I'm spending my energy on, whatever. I don't look at it. I don't even know where it is. It's somewhere on my computer. I have to declutter my computer. That's the next step, is decluttering my computer. I'm still in the delete phase. So you can do that if it really does serve you. If you really do work that way and you want to create a PowerPoint with this information, or you want to create a Notion template, or you want to create a to-do list, more power to you. I am not that person anymore. I know it doesn't serve me. And so instead, I'm going to put it down on a paper. And yes, I've got this dollar store paper from when I used to do art therapy with children in my past life. And I'm just going to write it down on a piece of paper, pretty. I'll make it pretty, but really simple, really fast, easy at a glance. At one page. One page. One page. That's it. No more than that. And that will be good. And then I will feel like, okay, this is the direction I'm going in. This is where my mental energy is going. The rest is gone. It's completely deleted. It's gone. And so I know where I'm going. And I'll refer back to also my Think Day document, because when I did a Think Day every 3 months, I'll make sure they're in the same guiding light. And the issue happens is that I have a Think Day every 3 months to keep me on track, but I do encourage people to check in regularly and declutter their life regularly to make sure they're staying on track, because we're drowning in information. I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm drowning in information. There's always a new video telling me that I'm doing YouTube wrong. There's always another video telling me that I'm being a therapist wrong. There's always another video telling me that I'm being a mother wrong. And I'm like, okay, what do I have to learn now? What do I have to do now? That doesn't serve me. And yes, I think it's important to learn. I love listening to audiobooks and I write and then that's how I learn the information. Um, but you need to let some of it go. You need to trust your own judgment and you need to pick what works for you and what doesn't. Because everything's right, but everything's wrong at the same time. It's whatever works for you because you are an individual. So I need to go through all this and figure out what serves me and what doesn't. Because otherwise, I am drowning in clutter that is mental. I am drowning in indecision. And I am drowning in a lack of energy and time. So, this is really the process that I would recommend to you. It's super straightforward. It depends on how long it takes you. I'm very thorough. So, the delete stage can take me a couple of hours to a day, depending on how much energy I'm putting into it. But it can take you only a few hours to do all of it. If you're not like me and you have 1,000 notebooks, because this is a bit excessive, but it works for me. If this relaxed structure for a video works for you, let me know in the comments because I think this is what I'm going to do moving forward. It just feels much more natural. But if it's really hard for you to follow me in my processing, let me know and I can like adjust as we go. And one more reminder about the 3-day challenge. It is going to be so much fun. I really do hope you join. Again, the link to join is in the description below. So I hope to see you there. And in the meantime, keep living your authentic life. Bye.